One Fight Night 26 is live this Saturday at 3 a.m. South African time. It is Lee versus Rasulov, and the main fight card is previewed up next in Fighting with Friends. Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the CPS Reports. It's your boy, Brother Guy, and I'm here today to do another preview of One Fight Night 26 Lee versus Rasulov on Prime Video this Saturday, 3 a.m. on South African time. It will be on YouTube, so that's amazing. So you don't have to only get it on Prime Video. You can watch the fight card as well on YouTube. So that's amazing by the One Championship. But without further ado, I'm going to get straight into it. As you can see, I'm alone again today, but that's no problem. This is the CPS Reports. We are preparing for the festive period this year. So we are, taking some time off to prepare for time off. But okay, let me go straight to the main event. We have Christian Lee taking on Alibeg Rasulov for the lightweight MMA strap. And I'm so excited for this fight because Christian Lee is arguably the most decorated fighter in the One Championship. It's been a long time coming. Obviously, if you're following Christian Lee and the One Championship, you would know why he took all the time off. I'm not going to get into much detail about it because it is unfortunately a sad topic. So I don't want to go down that road right now. I'm going to keep it positive here. And it's just good to see Christian Lee finally make his One Championship return. A little background on him. He is the current lightweight and welterweight MMA champion. His record in the One Championship is at 17 wins, 4 losses. And this is what's quite significant about the guy. 12 wins by knockout, 4 wins by submission, and a 94% finishing rate. Very aggressive fighter. He's young. He's 26 years old. So I'm quite excited to see him perform again. I always enjoyed his fights. I like his style. I think his attitude. I like his professionalism. I do think that if he continues, if One Championship does not fill up the division for welterweight and lightweight, could potentially see Christian Lee maybe part ways and sign with another organization. He is taking on Alibeg Rasulov, who only had one fight in the One Championship so far. So his record is 1 win, 0 losses, 0 no contests. He beat Ok Rayun in his One Championship debut. And Ok Rayun has been a long-standing contender in the lightweight division as well as the welterweight division. So it's quite amazing to see that. And he had a very good show in that performance. I would have loved to see a little bit more before he gets a fight against Christian Lee, but I can understand why. Rasulov does come with a very, very powerful Dagestani pedigree of wrestling. And if you know MMA, you know that the Dagestani wrestlers are dominating the MMA scene right now. Most of them are the champions in the UFC. They got so many contenders all around in different organizations. So you know that Alibeg Rasulov is going to come hard in this fight. I mean, he's looking to get a title shot. He's coming in the fight slightly taller, if I'm not mistaken. He's got a little bit of a reach advantage. But I'm not too sure if he's going to get the W done. I was just watching my guy Nick Atkins' podcast on his preview on this fight card as well, and he mentioned something interesting in the fight. And he said he fears that this fight could potentially be a little bit of a lull, and it could potentially be something very similar to fight we just watched with Anatoly Malikin and Ragrag Omarkane. And he's based it on because they're fighting in the ring instead of the cage. Now, I agree with him to an extent. I do think that if they fought in the cage, it would be a little bit better to watch. I do think that the ropes of the ring in Lupini Stadium does make it difficult for the grapplers to do their thing. On that being said, Christian Lee isn't the kind of fighter that goes in there and puts on a stink fest, or and just kind of nullifies opponents so that he doesn't get knocked out. Christian Lee is the go-getter kind of fighter. He's the guy that's the fire starter. He always puts himself in sort of harm's way because he trusts his hands, he trusts his grappling pedigree, and he always goes to finish. Like I said, he's got a 94% finishing rate, 4 significant strikes landed per minute. Those are very good numbers. It shows you that he's a very active fighter. And for that reason, I do think he's going to come out victorious in this fight. However, it is going to be a difficult feat for him because, I mean, Alibeg Rasulov comes in this fight with a lot of aggression. I do think he's undefeated, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, he's going to obviously come in there not being tasting having the taste of taking a loss. So, I think he's going to be bigger. I think he's going to be Rasulov's going to be taller. I think he might have a little bit of a strength advantage, but I just wonder if he's going to be able to keep up with the pace and the relentless nature of Christian Lee. Granted, Christian Lee has taken a loss. Like I say, he lost 4 times. He has been knocked. He's been knocked out, but he's been knocked down. He's been tapped out. He's taken a beating before. But he's coming out of Evolve MMA. He's fighting out of a very good training camp. A lot of amazing fighters around him. His family, the Lee family, is obviously keeping him very honed in on his talent. And I do think that he's going to come out of this fight victorious and probably even finish Rasulov. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes to decision, but I do also think that Christian Lee has got it in him to actually in this fight within the first 3 rounds. You see, he's that kind of fighter. He does take his time to sort of find the opponent a little bit, but you can kind of see Christian Lee puts the work in after round 2. Round 3, 4, and 5, that's when Christian Lee comes to life. He starts to go and put up a level, take it to that championship plateau, if you will. So yeah, that's my take on it. Let me know in the comments, gentlemen. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that main event. I think it's a fantastic main event that the One Championship has put together, and I'm very excited to watch it. I cannot wait. Also, on that note, I will be doing a live on this fight card, which is on Saturday again, 3 a.m. So stay tuned for that. I'll be doing a YouTube live watch along for this fight card. I cannot wait to see you all there. We can get into the banter as we watch some amazing fights. Now, let me keep it moving to the co-main event, and we have the return of the legend of Petchtanong taking on Nabil Anane. It's 80's number 1 guy. He's really a big fan of Nabil Anane's style, and it's just this awkwardness that a lot of fighters are struggling to deal with. Very exciting. Petchtanong, if you don't know, former bantamweight kickboxing champion, southpaw fighter. He has over 400 fights. He's just beaten pretty much the who's who. His record in the One Championship currently stands at 3 wins, 1 loss, 0 no contest. Excuse me. Got 1 win by TKO, and he's on a 3-fight winning streak at the moment. He beat Alibeg Rasulov, who's also a fantastic kickboxer, by TKO in his last fight. He also beat Hiroki Akamoto for the championship by split decision. The only thing I'm a bit concerned about Petchtanong in this fight is that he is 39 years old. However, we also recently just watched Sam A being that 41, smoking Zhang Piaman, who's one of the up-and-coming youngsters of this sport in kickboxing and in One Championship. So in this fight game, especially in stand-up, I think it's safe to say that these guys that are fighting at 39, 40 years old are not as easy or as done as we think they are. Sulin U as well, wishing him all the well for his recovery of the car accident. There's another guy who I think showcases the strength of an older gentleman coming into the sport or fighting in the sport. But okay, he is going up against Nabil Anane, who is on a tear at the moment. His record in the One Championship is 5 wins, 1 loss, 0 no contest. He's on a 5-fight winning streak as it stands. Excuse me, I don't think it's five wins. I think he's got 5 fights. I think he's got more than 6 fights in total. He's on a 5-fight win streak, 2 wins by KO. He beat Sulan U in his last fight by unanimous decision. He beat Lobo as well, Felipe Lobo, by unanimous decision, and also knocking out the left meteorite in Kulap Dam. He also beat Mong Tai and as well as Nakrob, who's also fighting on this card for a potential number 1 contenders matchup. Nabil Anane is he has a very good percentage of significant strikes, where he's landing at 7 strikes per minute. So he's just popping at you. He's just letting things go for the most of that round. This is at bantamweight kickboxing, so it's not in Muay Thai, where Nabil Anane is a little bit more dangerous. I think when they're fighting in Muay Thai, Nabil can utilize the clinch work, can utilize the elbows. He's a lot more dangerous in that avenue of the sport. So I'm very interested to see how he's going to fare in kickboxing, and also fare up against an opponent like Petchtanong, who is, like I say, he's just a legend of legends. And also Petchtanong's fighting out the southpaw is super creative. He can read fighters really, really well. He knows how to game plan against opponents. And Nabil Anane, I think he's going to have to stay switching stances in this fight, be as proactive as possible, fight out of different stances, fight out of different distances as well. Do not be too, what's the word I'm looking for? Not one-dimensional, because Nabil's not one-dimensional, but he shouldn't stick to a pattern for too long. You know what I mean? Because that's what Petchtanong's one of his best attributes, is that he's able to pick up opponents' patterns and then game plan against it in fight. In fight management is fantastic of Petchtanong. So I would love for Nabil Anane to not give Petchtanong too many reads. So, fight If you're fighting up to southpaws, don't stay in there for too long. Come out of it, go back into orthodox, and vice versa. Don't remain in a one particular stance and throw similar weapons too often to the point where Petchtanong is going to be able to read that and counter you. I think one of Nabil's best attributes is that he can switch it up so often and so frequently, apart from being literally the tallest fighter in the organization. Especially at this two weights between bantamweight and flyweight, I think it's scary to fight against Nabil. So I think he's going to stick to bantamweight division, and I'm going to give the win to the youngster here, even though I think Petchtanong has got more than enough experience to deal with any of the problems that Bill's going to show him. But I do think that the length, that distance management of Nabil is probably one of the most difficult things to deal with. Only Superlek was able to get past it. So I'm just wondering if Petchtanong is going to be able to do anything different or do something that Superlek was able to do, which is obviously leg kick the hell out of Nabil, stop him from moving, and then you can kind of beat him that way. But super excited for that one. Again, ladies and gentlemen, let me know in the comments your thoughts on this fight. I'd love to hear it because this is a fantastic fight for both guys. I do think that if Nabil wins, I don't know if he can go and call out a title shot in the kickboxing sport, not just yet. But I do think that currently in Muay Thai, he's on a massive high and very close to a title contention. So I do think that win or lose in this fight, he should definitely go back to Muay Thai. Yeah, although he came out and said that he finds kickboxing a little bit easier to do, I do think that he should go back to Muay Thai because that's just where he looks most dangerous. I just wonder if any of his weapons and strength is going to translate or carry over into the bigger gloves of kickboxing. Let me know your thoughts, Adrian. I'd love to hear it. We will keep it moving nice and swiftly to the next bout, which I thought would have been the co-main event for this fight. I would have loved to have seen this as the co-main event instead of the fight between Nabil and Petchtanong. However, even if it's the third fight from the top, I still cannot wait to watch it. And that is the fight between Mayssa Bastos versus Danielle Kelly. And this is a rematch. And if you haven't watched the fight between these two ladies, go watch it back. It is absolutely exciting. Very, very high pace, very aggressive from both ladies. And I honestly thought they were going to give it a draw, to be quite honest, up until I would say that last three and a half minutes of the fight. You could see Bastos takes full control of it from there, and she starts really dominating. I think she had 2 catches as well. So she definitely inserted herself to be the more dominant fighter, but only so slightly. I do think they're fairly even. I do think that maybe Kelly kind of gassed out towards that last 3-4 minutes of the fight, which eventually then gave Bastos the advantage. But they got very similar styles. So Bastos is currently the Atomweight champion. As you can see on screen, this is for the Atomweight submission grappling title. She is currently 2-0 in the one championship, beating Danielle Kelly by unanimous decision in the last fight. She also beat Kane Yamada by unanimous decision before that. And I dig her style. She's relentless. She's quick with the game. She's got very good scrambling, and she can transition really, really well between positions, almost effortless actually. Whereas the Danielle Kelly, former Atomweight champion, 3 wins and 1 loss in the one championship is a record. She got 1 win by submission. She lost obviously to Bastos in the last fight. She beat Jessica Khan, which was an amazing fight by unanimous decision. She also beat Ayaka Miura. Ayaka Miura is no easy feat. She's one of the most difficult fighters to fight in the grappling aspect of this organization. Very similar attributes to Bastos: relentless, quick with transitions, very good scrambler. But I do think that Kelly is a little bit more aggressive than Bastos. I think that could either be very beneficial for Kelly, or it could also be one of her biggest downfalls. And I think against Bastos, it was a downfall for being so overly aggressive. I think if Kelly is a little bit more patient in this fight, she could potentially get the title back. But it's a pick-em for me between the two because they're so really, so very even between the two ladies. But I am super excited for this fight. And whoever wins, big ups to them. Whoever loses, you nothing to feel bad about because either one of them is deserved of being a champion. It's just a matter of how long can you stay in that champion in that division, obviously. But let's see. Let me know the thoughts in the comments. How do you think this fight's going to play out? I can't pick one, so I'm really relying on you guys in the comments to tell me who's going to win it. So I'm going to keep it moving nice and swiftly. I don't want to say we're voting for Brazil because that's just going to be a biased opinion from me. So I'm going to leave it for you in the comments to let me know about that one. Okay. Now we're going down a little bit more, and this is amazing because we have Reece Lightning McLaren who was a former title contender, flyweight MMA. He was semifinals in the Grand Prix. He's fought the list of everyone. Danny Kinnett, he's been there. Adriano Moraes, Mighty Mouse. He's fought the who's who. Jared Brooks, if I'm not mistaken, he's coming upper weight for this fight. He is the current interim champion, the interim strawweight champion, and the former strawweight champion. So let me just give you a little bit statistics of the two guys before I give you my breakdown on how I think the fight's going to play out. Reece Lightning McLaren, his record in the One Championship currently stands at 10 wins, 6 losses, 0 no contests. He's got 1 win by KO, 1 win by TKO, 5 subs, 5 wins by submission, 70% finishing rate, and has 3 significant strikes landed per minute. He beat Yu Yong by split decision in his last fight earlier this year. He lost to Kairat Mentov by unanimous decision, and then before that, he pretty much, like I said, just fought all the top guys. Very aggressive, tall, loves to wrestle, very powerful guy, and he's just one of those fan favorites because he just makes all these fights hella entertaining to watch. And the same can be said for Jared Brooks. Like I said, interim strawweight champion, former strawweight champion. His record in One Championship is currently 5 wins, 2 losses, and it says 0 no contest, but he did lose 1 fight by disqualification. 3 wins by submission. He's got a 60% finishing rate. He's got a 3 significant strikes landed per minute. He beat Gustavo Bolot by submission in his last fight to get the interim title. He lost to Joshua Pacquiao before that by disqualification by spiking Joshua Pacquiao. It's a bit unfortunate. So I'm keen to see them rematch that fight again. Before that, he lost to Mikey Messi in a submission grappling match. Nothing wrong with that. It's Mikey Messi. And then before that, he was on a 4-fight win streak, beating Lito Adiwang by submission, Hiroba Miniwa by unanimous decision, Okang Masunyane by sub, and Joshua Pacquiao by unanimous decision. So he's fought the top 4 guys in his strawweight, and then also fought Mikey Messi. Now he's got an upper weight division because he's still waiting for Joshua Pacquiao to come back after that very, very dangerous spike, unfortunately, that he had saved when he fought him the second time. In this fight, I'm very intrigued by this matchup, right? Because you've got the former title contender in Reece McLaren, and you've got an interim champion in Jared Brooks. Jared Brooks is short, right? Strawweight is a bit on the shorter side. Reece McLaren is taller, he's quick. They're both really quick. I do think Jared Brooks is a lot more powerful than what it looks because of his height. He's very, very strong. I just wonder if he's going to come up short against Reece in this fight because it's going up a weight. Excuse me. He's dealing with someone who fights very similar to him. Reece fights very similar to Jared Brooks. Very powerful wrestler, very fast in his striking as well, very heavy hands, and Reece is taller. And not just by a little bit, he's significantly taller than Jared Brooks. So I just wonder if Jared Brooks is going to be able to navigate that distance, because I think that's going to be the biggest mountain. I do think he matches up with Reece McLaren in terms of strength. He's not as strong, but strong enough to hold his own, I think. I do think the grappling prowess of Jared Brooks is really almost second to none. So that's why he went up against Mikey Messi. So I think he can also win in that department. I just wonder if he's going to be able to get in and stay in. You know what I mean? Because Reece McLaren is going to be able to move really well, and he's going to box on the outside and potentially set up Jared for a potential finish. Exciting fight. I think the winner is whoever wins here. Especially for Reece, if he wins this fight, he can definitely put himself in the hat to fight against maybe Adriano Moraes for the flyweight vacant title, or Jared Brooks. Like I said, he's already got almost a guaranteed title shot against Joshua Pacquiao, when he returns from his neck injury. But let me know. Lots at stake at this fight. Lots at stake for both gentlemen. Both of them would need the win. I don't think Jared Brooks would significantly lose that much if he loses this fight, because he does have another division to worry about, but it would be a massive feather in his cap if he was able to get this victory over someone like Reece Lightning McLaren. So give me your thoughts. I cannot wait for this. So give me your thoughts on that one as well. Who do you think is going to get that job done? For now, it's a massive card, so I'm going to have to move on, ladies and gentlemen, so stay with me. Let's keep it moving. Next fight, we have the Bosnian Denis Puric taking on Elias Mahmoudi, or Mahmoudi. I think it's Mahmoudi. And this is in the flyweight Muay Thai bout, and this is also potentially number 1 contenders match. Denis Puric, I think, he's ranked number 2 or 3, and then Elias Mahmoudi is ranked number 4 or 5, I'm not mistaken, in this division. So I'm excited for this fight because there's a lot at stake at this one as well. I think the winner can definitely put their name in the hat, potentially take on Rodtang with the vacant flyweight Muay Thai bout. So for this fight, let me give you some stats. Denis Puric, his record in one championship is 3 wins, 3 losses, 0 no contest. He's got 1 win by KO with a 5 significant strikes landed per minute. 39 years old, which is something to slightly be concerned about, even though this, like I said earlier, the older guys can still last when it comes to the stand-up things. He's lost to Rodtang in his last fight by unanimous decision for a title. He beat Jacob Smith after that. Or was it before that? Yeah, before that, sorry. And then he also beat noticeably wins over Tajir Khalilov by unanimous decision. Elias Mahmoudi, his record in the championship is 4 wins, 2 losses, 0 no contest. He's got 1 win by KO, 1 win by TKO, and 7 significant strikes landed per minute. He beat fighters like Taiki Naito by KO and Edgar Tabades by TKO. And also the age on Mahmoudi's side is 26 years old, so he can look for a path, going forward. Whereas in this period, I think from this point, if he loses this fight, he must think about super fights only. People that are also his age, who maybe who has been there, or maybe hasn't been there. Maybe if he doesn't win, he can take on Sam A. And if Sam A wins that fight, Sam A can go for a title. Because that is strawweight or flyweight, if I'm not mistaken. But this one is flyweight, so I think Elias Mahmoudi is probably going to get the job done, but it's not going to be any easy. He probably gets the job done later in the rounds. We know that the first round, Denis Puric is going to come out there very aggressive. We know how he fights, those heavy hands, lots of kicks, high pace, likes to stand and bang rather than moving opponents around in the ring. Whereas Elias Mahmoudi is a little bit more creative in how he strikes, a little bit more elusive in his movement. And I do think that the youth is going to be a big key factor in this fight because he might just have a better gas tank than Denis Puric and better conditioning, so he might be able to go a little bit longer. In fact, I do think he's going to go a bit longer. And that's why I feel like Elias Mahmoudi is going to be the one that's going to come out victorious in this fight. Because Denis Puric just came off a loss. He's 39 years old. He's slightly shorter than Elias Mahmoudi and slower. But I don't think he has a lot of power in his hands. But I do think Mahmoudi is going to keep the hell out of him and move around, get him tired, and probably look for the finish in round 2 or 3 and come out victorious. And also, he's on a run. Denis fought for the title and was unsuccessful. Mahmoudi hasn't. So I do think the motivation is a little bit more fiery under Mahmoudi versus Denis Puric. So I'm going to give Mahmoudi the win in this fight. And I'm going to go as far as to say he might even stop Denis Puric. But Denis Puric is very competent and sound. I mean, he fought Rodtang and he didn't get stopped. And Rodtang is one of the most deadliest strikers on the fucking planet. So Elias Mahmoudi, wishing him all the best. I do think he's probably going to get the job done. I want to see him get the finish, but when it gets to these high-level fighters, guys don't really get finished that easily because they're so tough and they're so clear and so well experienced and educated. They're able to stay alive in a fight, basically. But let me know your thoughts on this one. It's a number one contenders matchup, this one. So a lot of stakes involved there. So let me know how you think that's going to play out in the comment section, and then we can have a nice banter when I'm doing a live for these fights come this Saturday. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to keep it moving. Yuya Wakamatsu, nice return for Yuya. We haven't seen him fight for quite some time. Former number one contender, former title challenger in the flyweight MMA division. He's taken on Gilbert Nakatani. Not too familiar with Gilbert Nakatani, to be honest. So I'm not going to spend too much time on this fight. Just keen to see how this fight plays out. I'm wondering if he's setting the fight up for Yuya to actually get the dub so he can assert himself again in that number one contenders matchup and potentially fight someone like Adriano Moraes for that flyweight title. So let me know your thoughts on this one as well. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. I'm going to go past it just because Gilbert Nakatani this is his debut fight, so there's not much to go on this one. But I'll keep it moving. This fight should have been higher up on the card for me because it's probably going to be fight of the night. We have Nakrob taking on Kongthoranee, my guy. And I cannot wait. I am a little bit more biased to Kongthoranee, but I like Nakrob. I'm a big fan of his style. Both these guys are 26 years old. So they're young, vibrant. Both of them are contracted. This is just, I'm already getting goosebumps just thinking about the fight. Let me just catch them away quickly. Okay. Nakrob, record in the one championship is 9 wins, 1 loss, 0 no contest, 2 wins by KO, 2 wins by TKO, 44% finishing rate. 8 significant strikes landed per minute, which is probably the highest on the card. He's got a 5-fight win streak right now. He beat Durian Lek, who's fighting at Friday Fights. Friday Fights 90. If I'm not mistaken, by unanimous decision. He also beat Tajir Khalilov by KO. He beat Mongtai by split decision and only lost to Nabil Anane, who's obviously was fighting later in the card. Which that kind of shows you how intense Nabil is. We beating someone like Nakrob. Kongthoranee fighting out the Blue Gloves this time. His record in the One Championship is 9 wins, 2 losses, 0 no contest. He's got 3 wins by KO. He beat Tajir Khalilov as well by unanimous decision in his last fight. Beautiful fight. I'm a big fan of Kongthoranee. He lost to Super League before that, which was unfortunate, but that was his entry to the contracted version of the sport. He was on a 7-fight winning streak before that. Fights out of the southpaw stance. You guys know his style. Very similar to Kulabdam, powerful left-handed striker. Can switch stances if it's necessary. Can go to the clinch. If you look at the Sorsumai fighters, they love to fight out of the clinch. So, and Fairtex guys, obviously, Fairtex one of the biggest gyms in Thailand. Just beautiful fight. It's one of the biggest gyms. Sorsumai versus one of the biggest gyms in Fairtex. Two of them are two of the most hottest fighters right now in the One Championship. And I think it's going to be fairly even. I can't actually tell you how the fight's going to play out. This is one of those fights where I'm just going to be fanboying the hell out of it and just watching without any sort of. I'm going to try my best to remove the biases lenses from Kongthoranee. So I'm going to watch it with open eyes and try to not be too biased on this one. So I'm not going to give my thoughts on how it's going to play out just because I think they're fairly even. I think they both got exactly the same attributes. I do think Nakrob is slightly fuller. It's just ever so slightly, but they other than that, it's fairly even. Toss up for me again. Can't choose a winner here. Whoever wins, I'll be supporting both of them. Both of these guys are still on their way to a title, and whoever loses this fight won't be discouraged or being kicked off the mountain. They would still be able to make a title run just because they are that fucking good and they're climbing the ranks at such a rapid pace. So this fight is definitely my pick for fight of the night. So stay tuned for that one, ladies and gentlemen. It is also on the undercard, so it will be early. It will be around 4 a.m. or 4:30, maybe even 5 a.m. It will be around there, considering the amount of fights that's on the card. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you think about that one, because I said, I can't pick a winner, so I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. But for now, we will keep it moving, ladies and gentlemen. Next fight on the card, we have Shamil Gasanov taking on Halil Amir for a featherweight MMA bout. This is also high stakes involved. Both guys are closing in on a title contention, so I cannot wait for that one as well. Halil was, I think, if I'm not mistaken, was in a higher weight. He was in lightweight before this. Now he moved down to featherweight. Not too sure why he made that move, but I do think that he's one win away of potentially fighting for a title as well as Shamil Gasanov. So excited to see these two wonderful wrestlers go at each other. It's going to be a barn burner. You've got Shamil from representing the Russian Dagestani wrestling and Halil from Turkey, who I think has also got very good Dagestani style wrestling. Even though he's not necessarily from there, he's got that style and that pace. He's high level and he also strikes pretty well. So excited to see that fight. I don't think Shamil is probably going to come out victorious, but if he does, fantastic. But Halil is on a tear right now, and I do think he's going to be a puzzle for those featherweight guys in MMA. So look out the division because you got a contender coming in there. But I'll keep it moving, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't want to do too much time on that one. Shinya Aoki taking on Abate. Shinya Aoki, legend again in his 40s. This is a lightweight submission grappling. He obviously wants to do MMA mainly. In my opinion, I think Shinya Aoki should just retire. You are a legend. You did more than enough. Everyone loves you. This is just one of those fights where One Championship is putting the fights together to hype up the prospect in Abate. This is his debut. So if he comes in here and beats a legend in someone like Shinya Aoki, it rises his stock. But if he loses against Shinya Aoki, it may backfire in what the One Championship is trying to do for the young man in Abate. But also very excited to see that fight. Shinya Aoki is scary when it comes to the grappling exchanges. But this is the fight I want to really talk about because I feel like this fight should actually be high up on the card as well. This is a number one contenders fight between Jonathan Di Bella taking on Rui Botelho in the strawweight kickboxing division. Jonathan Dibella, the former champion, his record in the one championship stands at 2 wins, 1 loss, in no contest, 7 strikes per minute. He lost to Prajanchai earlier in the year. That's how he lost the title. In his last fight, he beat Daniel Williams before that by unanimous decision, as well as Zhang Paiman by unanimous decision to become the strawweight boxing champion. And like his style, very pacey, never stagnant, loves to fight off either stance, but very good boxing, goes to the body really well. He is taking on Roy Botelho, who I think is on a massive upward trajectory because his record or his career in the one championship was not the most fruitful in the beginning. His record currently stands at 3 wins and 6 losses. That's like he had a very difficult start to his career. He's got 3 significant strikes landed per minute, which I think is going to change because if you look at his current win streak that he's been on, he's shifted his fight style very, very dramatically. He's on a 2-fight win streak. He beat Tong Poon, who is also fighting on this card by unanimous decision, and he beat Zhang Paiman, who are also a really top fighter by split decision. He lost to Super Leg, Panpayak, Taika Naito, like really, really talented kickboxers. He lost to these guys, excuse me. I don't think this fight plays out. I think it's a massive step up for Roy Botelho. Not necessarily step up in opponent, but step up in his career. Because if he gets the win over JDB, which I think he will, by the way, I think Roy Botelho is going to be pulling his title shot very, very soon. It's not going to be easy because Jonathan Dibella, like I said, he's one of those active strikers, loves to move, likes to just stay busy, loves to just push his opponent up against the corner, let his hands go. But he tried to do that against Prajanchai and he lost hopelessly because Prajanchai was just the strongest striker. Roy Botelho, I think he's going to match JDB with speed. I think he's going to. I think he's going to match him with volume as well. It's just a matter of who's going to be conditioned more to be able to go longer. Because the one who fades first is the one who loses in this fight. I think that's how we're going to see this fight play out. We're going to get a bunch of last bunnies moving, and the one who fades first is going to be the one that wins because both guys are really durable. Both guys can take a shot. It's just a matter of who goes to the body first, who invests in the body first will be the one I think is going to be get the hand raised in this fight. But I cannot wait. Let me know who you guys think is going to win this fight because the winner here is definitely going to be able to pull their shot next. And then closing statements for the fight card: Dante Leon versus Bruno Pucci. That's lightweight submission grappling. Not too familiar with both these guys. I know Mikey Musimesi has mentioned something about Dante Leon, so that's obviously says a lot about the guy. So let's see. Seems to be a fantastic fight. So I cannot wait to watch that one. And then obviously Tong Poon versus the legendary Daniel Williams is opening up an amazing fight card for us. So yeah, I think from bottom to top, we're going to be in for a banger of a fight card for the One Championship. And like I said, gentlemen, like I said in the beginning, I will be doing a live stream for this fight card on Saturday, 3 a.m. South African time. So stay tuned for that if you are going to be watching some One Championship and you are going to be on YouTube as well. Hop in the live stream with me. Get in the comments. Let's banter. I will watch some cool fights. I want to hear what your thoughts are, and also potentially let's make some cool acquaintances and keep expanding this community of the One Championship fan base. I think it's time that we do that and make it go more than just out in Asia. Let's make it massively global. But that is my time, ladies and gentlemen. We made it this far. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. It is One Fight Night 26 Lee versus Rasulov on Prime Video and a YouTube page this Saturday, the 7th of December at 3 a.m. South African time. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, stay safe. Enjoy the fights this weekend, and you will catch your boy on that live stream to watch the fights with you. Cheers.